It didn't. Hello!
Hello!
Welcome to our live show for The Diviners by Libba Bray. Kelly, I'm so jealous that you have the old version.
I love it.
The old version too.
It's so beautiful. I actually like this version though. I've grown on it.
I'm just angry because it's in paperback and Layer of Dreams is in hardcover, so I'm like,
Yeah. Layer of Dreams will come out. It will happen.
It's true. So this is like a new thing we're doing on this channel because normally the live shows are for the Buy No Bibliothon group books, but if you're unaware, we have a book club that we do reads every 3 months. Does anyone want to add anything on to the explanation of it?
It's more laid back than our Bibliothon. So if you haven't noticed, there's only 4 of us in this live show. 3 of us couldn't make it tonight. Selena, Red, and Sierra all say hi, but they couldn't make it for various reasons. So these live shows aren't necessarily going to include all 7 of us, but they will always include some of us.
Yes.
They might include all of us, but it's just
Hopefully
depends on the month.
So the first group book that we chose was clearly The Diviners by Libba Bray. So you don't necessarily even have to be part of the BiblioBook club to watch this live show. Like if you've read The Diviners, come and discuss with us. Anything else to add for introductions into the BiblioBook club? Would this be a good time to announce our next book, or should we do that at the end?
Let's do that at the end, and let's just introduce ourselves.
Okay, so Cassie, what was the order again?
Kelly, Brittany, Emma, me.
Are we giving ratings or just introducing ourselves?
I think we can introduce ourselves and give like just a general like rating out of like 5 stars.
Okay. Well, I'm Kelly from Kelly's Booksville, and I rated this a 5 out of 5 stars.
I don't remember what I added.
I'm actually looking up what I rated it.
Okay, I'll go while you check. I'm Cassie from Miss Happy Cassie, and I rated this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I loved the audiobook. I listened to it so much that I think it added so much to it. It was so good.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm Brittany, obviously, and I rated this book 4 out of 5 stars. I loved it. It was so good and mysterious, and I love the 1920s, so loved it.
Hey, I'm Emma. My channel is Emma Books, and I rated it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Do we want to go down the line and talk about like general non-spoiler first impressions of the book? Because it was the first time for all of us reading it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to go down the line and just do like general feelings?
Yeah, definitely.
Sounds good to me.
So I think Kelly's first?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was really worried going into this book. I've been putting it off for so long because it's so big and it's a historical fiction and I don't read historical fiction. But then I realized there was paranormal aspects the more I read it, and that's what made me love it, is the paranormal aspect of the book. I love the characters, though, and when you listen to the audiobook, which is what I did, and if you have not listened to the audiobook, that's what you need to do. But when I listened to the audiobook, the characters were so different and so diverse, and there were so many different themes within the book. It was just, I felt like the characters were really good, and that's what made me really love the book. The only thing that threw me off at first was all of the different character perspectives. Like some of them I didn't feel like were completely needed until the very end of the book. But other than that, I mean, I loved it. I loved the paranormal part of it. That was my favorite.
I think Brittany's next.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed this book. I found that the main thing is this book is huge and it's really deceiving, but I found like it read extremely quickly and I found it extremely addicting. I like to say this book reminds me a lot of Supernatural. If Supernatural was in the 1920s, that's what I feel like. What else about this? The multiple POVs. I love multiple POVs. In this one, same as Kelly, I felt like it wasn't really necessary at first, especially with one of the POVs, but then it kind of came together at the end and I really enjoyed it. And I'm just going to say it. I'm echoing. I'm going to put my headphones on. I'm going to look like a douche with my Beats headphones.
I wish I had Beats headphones. I really enjoyed The Diviners. It was very different from a lot of the books I'd read previously, so it was like really cool to get into like not only just in historical fiction, which like Kelly is something I don't read a lot, but I just felt like the paranormal aspects of it were really unique, so I really enjoyed that. I had a big problem with the multiple perspectives because I don't like a book that has more than 2 perspectives. I can deal with 3, but this book had probably like 10 compiled with all of the random characters. Like there was one that was like a random person that Evie had like met, and I just felt like there was no need for a chapter after that about that one character. So I felt like a lot of the perspectives were unnecessary. But other than that, I just really enjoyed the actual story. I had a lot of fun reading it because I had no idea what direction it was going to go in, and I'm really happy that I read it.
I also really loved the audiobook, like Kelly. It was phenomenal. I feel like I would have enjoyed this book if I hadn't have listened to the audiobook, but now that I've listened to the audiobook, I feel like when I get to Layer of Dreams, I won't enjoy it unless I'm listening to the audiobook, if that makes sense.
I agree with you on that.
Now that I know that it exists and that it was perfect, well, it wasn't perfect because of certain things, but like it was so glorious. So that, right off the bat. I also had some issues with the one thing I have to say about listening to it was I got confused with the multiple perspectives. I didn't realize when perspectives were changing for a minute. Like, there's not necessarily like a voice change or anything. So you're just reading, and then you're reading, and then all of a sudden we're in a different perspective, and I'm like, what? Wait. Who am I listening to? I don't know what's happening. So I thought that was a little bit confusing, and I feel like once you get like halfway point, then all of the character perspectives make a lot more sense.
Yes.
And they're a lot more relevant too. Like I really loved them once I got used to them, and once I recognized the characters more. Like, once I realized who we were pretty much following, they were good. But it took me a minute, definitely, to get.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Do you have any more non-spoilery things to say? This is really irrelevant, but I really liked the chapter title. I so appreciate books.
I loved them, but they made it really difficult for me to use the BiblioBook Club Goodreads page. Because I got forgetting where we were, and I'm listening to it, so like I have no idea where I am.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I guess won't write anything for this one.
I also really love the writing style. Her writing style was so spot on, and just the 20s and all of it. She did so perfect at that.
Yeah, I mean, being from New York, what were you saying, Cassie?
I love the accents or the colloquial uses of terms and stuff in it.
Like, being from New York, we focus a lot on the 1920s in history class just because it was such a prominent age. And, like, clearly I've never been to 1920s New York, but, like, as soon as I started reading this book, I'm like, it's like she wrote it in this time period because that's how accurate it was. Like, the clothing, the language, like, just everything they do and the description of the cities and stuff, it was so 1920s, especially Evie's thought process too. Like, you can tell it's from a different era, and it was done really, really well.
Like, have you guys ever read anything else by Libba Bray?
No,
I
this
haven't.
is my first read of her. But I hear she's fantastic.
I read, what's it called?
A Great and Terrible Beauty.
Yeah, and I found this one I enjoyed so much better, but both of them had, like, the best, like, poetic writing style, but I found this one was so much better in my opinion. But she's so, like, poetic in her writing, no matter what the book is.
Do you know which one was written first, if it was The Diviners or Great and Terrible Beauty?
I think A Great and Terrible Beauty.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that series came out first. Did we like that it was set in the 1920s?
Yes, I feel like this book would not have been as good if it wasn't set in that era.
Totally.
Like, I feel like it was such a key component of the story.
Yeah,
so, like, I feel like it needed to be in the 1920s.
Yeah, I think it added something new, like
Mhm.
reading a book about people who have special abilities in New York. Like, I mean, that sounds like half of YA. But then having it be historical fiction on top of that was really, really cool.
Did you guys know like a decent synopsis of the Diviners? Because I didn't. I only knew that it was set in the 1920s. I had no idea it was like a paranormal sci-fi.
Everything was unexpected for me.
I knew it was a paranormal.
Yeah, I knew it was paranormal as well, but I didn't know that it was a historical fiction, and I didn't know like anything else. I didn't know that it was a thriller basically either. I didn't know any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't expecting the like thriller mystery aspect of it. I feel like there were just so many genres combined into one book.
Mm-hmm.
Great thing.
It's very different for YA. Like, I feel like I've never read a YA book like this before.
I feel like it's a lot more mature.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just like the content of the book, especially the content of the book, because they deal with things that are like teen drinking and like sneaking out and like, you know, we don't read. I feel like a lot of YA, even if they're mysteries, are not focused around like murders. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like the content of it is so above like stereotypical YA books that it was like really refreshing to read.
Yeah, it was really nice for me to read too, because right before I read it, I read Gillian Flynn. Dark Places, which is like an adult thriller. So it was just, it got me in that mood too, and to see it from like a YA standpoint, I could really see the difference between the two, but it was more refreshing that a YA book can be written like that and confuse you, and because I find like a lot of the time in YA like thrillers and stuff, I predict most of it. For this, I was like, what the hell is going on? Most of the time, yeah.
Any more non-spoilery things? Or are we going to delve into specific discussion?
I just want to say that, well, Brittany kind of talked about this, but like, I definitely didn't see where any of it was going. Like, there wasn't just one surprise either. Like, we have the climax, but then there's other things that happen that are really exciting and surprising. So like, I mean, this is a look at the size of this book. It's a chunker, and it has so much thrilling things that happen throughout it. Like, I really loved that it wasn't just one good climax scene. It was multiple. So that was really good of her writing, I think. It was well done.
And one thing I want to say too is another reason like I was super drawn to this book is I always said if I was born in another era, I would want to live in the 1920s. So that like made me so curious about it, and like the flappers and the lifestyle. So it's really cool to hear like Emma say like she studied it and hear about it all the time, because that really drew me to it, because if I had to live in an era, I would totally pick that era. So
yeah, well, don't forget it's gonna be the 20s in like a couple of years. So
yeah,
Facebook all the time. Let's bring back swing jazz and jazz music. So you never know.
That's really true.
All right, I think it's time to move on to the spoiler section. So if you haven't already read The Diviners, or if you haven't read The Diviners but you don't care about being spoiled, I guess you can stay too, but I don't recommend that, honestly.
It's a good book. You'll want to read it.
Exactly. We will see you guys next soon. Oh, do we want to announce the next point now? Yeah, so just in case you didn't know, from January through March of 2016, we have another book for the BiblioBook Club, and it is Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. To be reading this, we have all of our chapter sections up on our Goodreads page so that you can talk about it with all of us and with everyone else who's doing it, and blah, 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 blah. So that'll be go ahead.
The live show will be probably like the late, like end of March, early April, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
It's going to be more on track because the BiblioBook messed up like all of us.
I would guess within the first 2 weeks of April is about when we'll have our live show. So think about that time frame. And we will be doing a poll for the April through June BiblioBook Club book. So that will be linked shortly, like within the next week we'll have a poll up. But if you want to suggest books down below or to Twitter, to our Twitter, then you're more than welcome to do that, because we haven't actually picked the books that will be in the poll quite yet.
And there's
Make
also
sure to head that way.
on the Goodreads group for the BiblioBook Club, which you can find like anywhere. You can just search BiblioBook Club, and it's the first option on Goodreads. We have a section where you can suggest it, so if you want to put it there too. But anywhere, if you tell any of us a book suggestion, we'll get it into the book.
Wherever you want to use. So, okay, now time to say goodbye to the non-spoiler people.
Bye. Okay, I have a question I want to start off with.
Okay.
Whose power would you have if you could have anyone's power in the book? Whose would you pick?
Oh, this one's so easy.
You guys could have had to know that it was coming.
Can we go
Totally
for the
Sam.
power?
I would love to be able to walk around and not be seen. That would be amazing.
I want Sam's power 100%.
I was thinking that too.
Let's see.
Okay.
So we have Evie, who can tell things about people by touching their possessions.
Yep.
We have Sam, who can just say "don't see me" and go undetected by everyone. We have Memphis, who is a healer. We have Isaiah, who can tell the future. Who else has powers?
Blind Bill can
I don't know what it
take
is.
powers.
Oh, that's what it is.
He takes them. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then we have Theta. Do we know what hers is yet? I forget.
I forget too.
I don't feel like
No.
it's touched on really.
No, maybe that's.
There's obviously something because she like talks multiple times about how like she doesn't want to go back. I feel like what her power is has something to do with killing it was her husband, right? That was abusive.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like it has to do with some sort of way that she like thought to kill him and then it happened or something. Like
That makes
so good. I just can't wait to hear it. I think I would pick. Oh, it's so hard. I like Sam's a lot. I think like first reaction is to choose Sam's. I like Evie's power a lot too, but I feel like I would be afraid to use it.
Yeah.
Like, that would be a terrifying power to have. Ugh. So I don't know. Probably Sam.
Okay, Brittany, who would you pick?
It's so hard. Actually, I'm between Evie or wait, who has the healing one?
Memphis.
Yeah. I think I would go with the healing one because that's who I am and I love to help people and fix people and that's what I do for a living. So to just be like, you're healed.
I love how you picked like the least selfish one, and we're all like, no, like I want to be invisible.
I was debating between that and Evie because like I love hearing people's stories, so to just
You could
not
just see
ask
them.
them, just see them.
That's perfect.
Yeah. What about you, Emma?
I would definitely pick Sam, like 100%. I think
You
his
would?
power is so cool. Yeah.
I could see that.
You could listen in on other people. You could go anywhere, and no one would know that you were there. Like
You wouldn't have to go to concerts.
Yeah.
Emma, you sound like a stalker.
I could just take books out. I could just go to Barnes & Noble and take the books, and no one would know it was me.
Yeah, you're like
Basically
floating.
become a criminal if you had that power. It would just
Basically. Why not? Okay, so
like that.
who is we need to talk about the possible ships in the story because we need to. So do you guys who do you like Evie with or do you like it?
Sam. All the way.
Jericho.
What?
I don't like either of them. They're both no, I don't
Do
like.
you have a preference of which Cassie, or you're just waiting for another love interest?
Yeah.
I don't know because I don't like Sam because I don't like how they met. Like that in and of itself, it already was destroyed the second I met him. And the second I met him, I was like, oh, so like you're gonna be in the story and you're gonna be a love interest.
Yeah, I know. It was a little expected.
Yeah, like the one time, like out of everything that happens in this book, there were so many surprises, but that was not one of them. Like, I knew that was going to happen. And I knew that Jericho was going to be a love interest the second that we realized the second that Evie starts talking about how like Mabel has been talking about him constantly, blah blah blah, I'm like, oh, so he's gonna like you.
Yeah.
I actually didn't expect that one myself.
Really?
I
I thought
did.
for
I
sure
did.
that would happen.
I just
Because,
didn't
like,
like Jericho that much in general.
I don't like
I
him
didn't
as a
care for him.
either. He's
I
boring,
like
so like I don't like
him.
either of them.
Really?
I don't. Yeah,
Okay.
he's boring. He was rude to Mabel for no reason.
He's
Even
such
though, like,
No. No. I just pictured Jericho's like this strong there's something behind him, and like I feel like he's a sweetheart inside, and there's a reason for that, and he just hasn't come out of his shell yet, and I'm shipping that, and I'm gonna fight y'all.
I don't like either of them. I don't like either of them. I don't know who I like more either. Like they're both kind of just I don't know. I don't like either of them.
It definitely wasn't like the main focus for me. Like I never was like, oh, I hope.
Oh yeah.
Right, that's very true, and I
100%.
really that was very refreshing.
I
for
love
a
books like
YA.
that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
My
I
thing-
also. Oh, go ahead.
I was just say, I'm the type of person, like, I've noticed this is a pretty common thing around BookTube, but if you introduce a guy first in a love triangle, I always support the first one. I don't know if it's a thing that authors intentionally do, where they make you like the person, because I've heard more people liking Sam than Jericho with Evie. I don't know if it's intentional with authors, or if it's the first guy, so you automatically become very attached to him, but that's the way I feel.
Difference?
What'd you say?
The one that doesn't do that to you? The Throne of Glass series!
I still ship Dorian, so.
I knew I was going to say you're Dorian, aren't you?
You don't know half of the options.
No.
I know.
Me and Cassie are going to turn this on a series now.
But I was also gonna say that the scene where Sam and Evie are like dancing at the club, like that scene is what really like made me really like Sam, because I feel like there's not a lot of moments like that with Jericho. Like I feel like the dynamic between Evie and Sam is so much stronger than the one between Evie and Jericho. Like I feel like, you know, Sam and Evie, they have that kind of like banter and like that like slight annoyance but I like really like you underneath it all relationship, and I feel like her and Jericho like got very intense very quickly, and I feel like it just doesn't feel as natural as Sam and Evie to me.
Not to mention Jericho, Mabel likes him, and so I automatically am like, no, that's your best friend's dude. You can't be doing that to her. So I immediately did not like Jericho because of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's going to switch on you guys. I think it is. Like I think
I don't know.
he's gonna.
I think that Sam will be endgame for sure.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I think that Jericho will be the one that like. How long is the series? Is it only a duology?
I don't know. But I really hope she doesn't wait like another like 4 years to write the next book.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Regardless of the time frame, I guess, but like especially if it's a longer series, I feel like Jericho will like be a term in the middle, and then like endgame is Sam. I feel like that's definitely going to be a thing, because in the end, Mabel and Evie will have to like recreate their friendship if it ends up being destroyed because of Jericho.
Yeah. They're so surprising though. Like if she can write a thriller like this, she might shock you in that sense too as well, right? Like we don't know. Yeah.
I think she has the potential to do it, but as the first book goes on, I'm not as interested in Jericho as a character. Like, I haven't read Lair of Dreams yet. I don't think any of us have.
No. Has read? No.
No, she said she hasn't yet.
Really?
Okay. That's weird.
She owns it, but she hasn't read it yet.
I feel like book 2, Lair of Dreams, is going to go more into Jericho's backstory, and I'm not anticipating that because I just don't want to. I don't know. I don't care.
Jericho's like the one who kind of introduces almost a sci-fi aspect to the story.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so weird because it was just out of left field.
We have a question.
All of these like friendships. Oh, I wanted to ask about Mabel. What did you guys think of her before we get on to like other general topics?
What was it?
What did you guys think about Mabel? Her relationship
Kelly.
with Evie and just her on her own.
Yeah.
I like
Maybe
their
Kelly.
relationship. I don't like Mabel as a character at the moment.
Kelly?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I go back and forth because I feel like Evie needs a friend like her to kind of bring her down to earth a little bit and keep her out of the clouds. But then again, I just don't know if I like Mabel that much as a character either. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I, yeah, my favorite scene with Mabel is the scene where Jericho starts yelling at her about like following her parents' thoughts or whatever. Like
Yeah.
that was my favorite scene, and it's the one where she gets tore down. Like that, like the whole aspect of like who she represents, I guess. Like that part is cool, but I felt like hers and Evie's relationship, like friendship, is not realistic. Like,
Yeah.
why are they friends? I don't
She put it
understand.
like that time.
it
when
makes
I
more
thought,
sense for her to be friends with Theta.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I
And
just think
even in the
that,
beginning, go ahead, Brittany.
oh, I was just gonna say, I just really like that part though where Mabel put Evie in her place. Like, I felt like she needed that and I liked her at that moment. Like, I did and I didn't, but I felt like she turned into a stronger character, and then I was like, okay, you're okay.
I honestly like. I don't like Mabel as a character, but when she gets mad at Evie, I totally agree with her because I feel like Evie is a very flawed character. Like I love Evie, but the things that she does is like so like what are you doing in my head sometimes. And like I like that Mabel is able to call her out on that. Like whenever I feel like it happened like twice in this book where like they got into a disagreement, and both times I agreed with Mabel, but I don't like Mabel as a character. It's like it's weird to me.
I just need her to go crazy or something.
Good for her
to just
plot.
let loose.
Yeah. And like even at so from the very beginning when Evie is talking about how she's all of the thought process she has in regards to moving to New York, she like starts talking about Mabel, and like even at that point it felt like a fake friendship on Evie's part. So I think that's part of why I don't see their friendship as like genuine.
They just don't seem to mesh.
Yeah, it seems like Evie was using her.
Yeah.
Obviously, she cares about Mabel because at the end of the day, she does care about Mabel. But like, I feel like Mabel deserves a better friend than Evie, and Evie is just using her. I don't know. It was
No, I
such a
agree
weird
with you. I
relationship.
totally agree with you.
I don't know.
Well, we got a few questions on the Q&A.
Yeah, let's go through that.
So the first one is, we kind of answered a few of these, but did you like how diverse the characters are?
Yes.
I thought it was really interesting. I know Cassie's like, ooh, like I'm feeling this.
Yeah, it was so good. Listening to the audiobook made it like even better because even though it's one narrator, so like obviously it's just one voice, but she did all of the like accents and stuff correctly. Like the only time that I was not confused that we got a new character was when we started listening to Memphis, because Memphis is a black boy from Harlem, and so he has a different accent than the general narration, and he has an African American vernacular accent. So he's like, it was I could see him before we even got a description of him. Like I already knew some vague things about him the second that he just started thinking, and that was just props to the narrator, props to the writing, and oh my god, it was so good.
It makes me wonder. Sorry, go ahead, Emma.
Isn't Theta? I feel isn't she like Hispanic or something? Like, doesn't she have?
Yeah, she's like a mixture of something.
Yeah.
I want to say she's from Europe, like the darker side of Europe.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's what I'm thinking of. I knew that she was a different ethnicity than everyone else, and like, I don't know. I really appreciate that because it's nice that when we have so many different characters, because that's what New York is all about. Like in the 20s, you know what I mean? Like there were just there's a mash of people there. Like you walk down the street in New York and no two people are the same. And in a lot of YA books, like everyone is the same. So it was really nice to have like big mash of different ethnicities and different accents and people from different places. Yeah.
The only thing I was missing was Irish people. There were no.
So true.
Cassie,
Like an actual thick Irish accent. We needed one of those.
oh my gosh. You make me want to listen to the audiobook. Like, that's like when I listened to Ready Player One. Like, there were so many different characters, but like they made it. The audiobook is amazing. It's by Will Wheaton, but he did like different characters and like on point. It makes the biggest difference. So I want to read it on audio. Maybe Lara Dreams. We could do it on audio.
Definitely should. It's fantastic.
Did you read it on audio too?
Do what?
She listened to part of it.
I listened to most of it on audiobook, but I had to read it today to catch up because the audiobook takes forever.
That's my one complaint about audiobooks. They always take longer than the normal reading.
Did you guys feel like even like there was diversity, but also all of the characters, all of their personalities were so different. I felt like that was diverse in itself, just dealing with all the different personalities throughout the book.
Totally.
Very true. Very true. They all felt like they had their own voice. Like
the Pharaoh reminded me of like you were talking about different ethnicities, and I never caught that because I think I kept thinking of I can't remember her name, but the girl off of Selection, the really mean one.
Celeste.
Yeah.
And that's what I kept picturing, so I never even clicked that she was a different ethnicity in my head.
I fan casted Theta as have you guys seen Journey to Atlantis, like the cartoon?
Yes.
Okay, so for those of you who have, you know the girl who is like the bad guy girl, like the one who's the military, she's got like the smirk all the time and the braid? Do you know who I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about, but I can't put a face to it.
Oh, I'm like, Google it, because that's who
I'm going to do it.
Like,
Right
so accurate. Which is not accurate because she's a blonde white cartoon, so like not blonde and white, but her like facial expression's really called to
Oh, that's funny.
You see it?
I'm looking right now.
I want to ask this question before we get lost in like the other questions that we have in the Q&A app. Did you guys have any favorite scenes? Because like there were so many favorite scenes in this book.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to even pick just one favorite scene from. God, I think my favorite parts, period, like all of my favorite scenes combined, are the ones with Naughty John. Like all of the just really scary, thriller, like make your heart race scenes. All of those were so good.
I'm just laughing at Brittany's face because it cut to her and she was like.
I was like, my fiance is cuddling the cat because he's like, so going on. Sorry.
I love when Matt cuddles my cat. I'm just like, oh my god, it's so cute.
Probably like, why are you saying that? Don't tell them.
I think my favorite chapter was the Hotsy Totsy. That was the one where they go to the 20s club with like the Ziegfeld Follies.
Yeah.
And that's when like Evie and Sam dance, and that's when the scene with the cops come, and like that whole part was my favorite. What'd you say, Cass?
When Mantis and Theta meet too.
Yes, that whole that was definitely my favorite chapter.
Yeah, I loved that chapter.
It's
the only chapter that I remember the name of, so that must be saying something. But my favorite scene was also the death of Ruda.
The
first one?
Yeah.
That was a really good one too.
And it was such a surprise because like you haven't had any of that for like the first the first quarter of the book or something.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're reading a murder scene from the victim's perspective, and I was just like, what is happening?
I didn't turn my lights on when I was reading that.
Oh, I was driving at night when I read it, and I was just like, I got chills, and I started looking around like, where
I can only imagine
the audiobook when he sings the song. It's so creepy because he actually sings the song in the audiobook, and it's just creepy.
She actually whistles for you too. Oh my god, it's
stop.
So good.
You're creeping me out.
Oh my god, I don't like creepy whistles. Especially from children. That's like the scariest thing ever.
Let's answer a World of Words question.
Wait, I didn't say my favorite scene yet.
Oh, sorry. I thought that you had said it earlier.
No. I was going to say the club scene, but I also really liked, I can't remember the names, but Naughty John's lover or whatever,
Mary Smith, is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah, when it was always, they kept going back in the house and hearing her story about how she was like, the maid girl was trying to like figure out why there was like dead bodies and in the house. Like I was really intrigued by that scene when, and then the cops came in and it kind of mumbled in my head, but I really really liked that scene after the club scene. If I had to pick another one, but yeah, go on.
So, Cassie, you said you wanted to enter A World of Words.
Sorry, I moved and there it is. The currently answering. Skipping to the end. What were your thoughts on the haunted house scene? I was terrified.
I need a refresher because I don't remember specifically.
What?
I remember
read it so long ago, and I was also reading it on my phone because I was at work. So like I was a little distracted while I was reading it. So someone just refresh the full thing. I had like a general idea, but I don't remember the specifics of it, so I don't want to give it.
Oh my god. Sam and Evie go to the house because Will and it's Sam. It's not Sam. It's Jericho and Evie, right?
Okay.
There was two different haunted house scenes.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, wait.
I'm thinking about the one, the end one,
where she like
said skipping to the end.
Oh.
When she like actually like meets Naughty John.
Naughty John. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God.
That one. So it's Jericho and Evie because Sam and Will got arrested. So Jericho and Evie go to the house and they're looking around for something that is like the obvious, like where to trap him or whatever.
Yeah.
And they get into the basement that is shaped like the star, and then they start hearing the whistle, or they see him down the street or something through the window, and then Jericho falls into the like basement or something.
Oh yeah.
And he gets his stuff caught.
And then when Naughty John gets there, the creepy brethren come out of the wall. I was imagining, like, what's his face? Han Solo in the copper in episode 5. I was imagining, like, that, but then just, like, moving out of it. Oh, God, ew. And then they all come out, and then I don't even, how do they get him? Because Evie does it.
Our little queen that she had from her brother as the spiritual object to basically banish him.
Yeah.
And then what did she do with it? Sorry?
She banishes him.
Oh, right. And says that little thing, and he's trying to talk her out of it, right? And she's like, or whatever she says. But.
Oh, and Jericho was like possessed or something.
He was all loopy and crazy dancing stuff.
Yeah.
That was so creepy.
That was definitely the creepiest scene in the book.
Oh, yeah, I was to me were like my heart racing, freaking me out.
I think the brethren was the worst part of it. The brethren coming out of the walls. I was like, those people
freak me out.
Oh, yeah, I don't like that.
Oh, that's funny. I thought it was a question on Twitter, but Vanessa Drain from World of Words said on Twitter, Emma, don't worry, Jericho's backstory isn't in Lair of Dreams that much.
Praise bless.
You guys!
But then that confuses me. Then it's clearly not a duology because they have to explain it, and if it's not in the second book, like it has to be the third book.
Fandom in Books said it was a 4-book series.
Oh, wow.
Oh, gosh. Please let her pump these things out now.
What if they're all this long?
I'm going to be 40 by the time we have all of them.
Yeah.
It's like Game of Thrones fans.
Oh, that's me every day. I haven't read A Dance with Dragons yet because I can't. I'm like terrified to read it and then just be sitting here waiting for the next.
I have to watch the show first before I read it. I'm a Game of Thrones fan freak.
I read them all before. This is the last season was the first one that I watched before having read it, and I was really scared.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I like it.
Yeah.
I like the question from Fandom in Books, and it says a lot of people complain about the size of the book. What would you guys cut from the story to make it shorter?
Nothing.
I personally think that it could have been condensed. I wish I had written down the parts that I thought were like, really unnecessary, because I thought a lot of the perspectives, like the random ones, like either didn't have a lot to do with the story, or like they could have been incorporated to a different person's perspective. And I remember I was like halfway through the book, and I was like, this would have been a great part to stop the book and then have the second one start. Like, I wish I wrote this down. I should have taken notes because I was gonna review it, but I got too lazy and too.
Maybe, like, if I had to pick, maybe that weird scene with Jericho and Mr. whatever his name is in the diner.
The
Marlowe or whatever.
Yeah,
I feel like that would just confused me more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's going to play into something later, though. Like, that's foreshadowing.
That's why I thought it would have been in Lair of Dreams more.
Yeah, like I think she's doing it all for a purpose. Like, we could cut it, but I feel like it's extremely important why she's put everything in there.
Yeah.
But I guess we could answer that question when we finish all 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, while I have problems with the perspectives and I have a problem with like I thought the book could have condensed more, I fully understand why it was so long and why there's so many perspectives. I just think, like, from, like, other books I've read and stuff, like, clearly, like, it's Libba Bray's writing and everything's individual. I just felt like it was very dragged out, which can either be really good or really bad. And, like, I think it was really good. I just would have preferred, like, it to be more condensed.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
I mean, like, there weren't that many times where I was bored. So, like,
yeah.
You know, I don't know what I would want to get rid of. As of right this minute, like, okay, if this was just a one book, like, not a series, it was just on its own, standalone, I feel like the parts regarding the whole Jericho aspect being, like, a weird robot thing just was, like, okay, like, why did we throw this in at the end?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's so weird, but I feel like it's probably going to be important eventually. But
at some point it should. But yeah, I thought that was really weird.
And
I forgot about that. Oh my God.
And then I also, I mean, we could have done without the whole Sam's mom and Project Buffalo thing if it was just a one book standalone. But obviously, all of that's going to play into something later. So like, it all is building on something.
I found the like Memphis chapters kind of boring for me.
I did too.
Sometimes that got me too.
I wanted to read the other ones. Like, it was okay, but I didn't.
I didn't love Memphis at first for like a good quarter of the book, or like whenever he starts, for a little bit after that, I was just like, okay, like Memphis, like let's move on. But I was intrigued by, like, again, the fact that they all have the African American vernacular. Like, I always love reading African American vernacular.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. I've studied it, so like, it's so cool. So that alone made me interested, and then eventually I started like just loving Isaiah and Memphis and Theta all together. And
that's when I started liking him, was when Isaiah came into the picture.
I liked him when he met Theta. I felt like, I don't know, I felt like his character really grew, like, when they met and they were, like, on the run from the cops and stuff. Like, that's when I really started liking him. But I also wasn't expecting different perspectives when I went into the book, so it was, like, a shock to me at first. So, like, originally I'm like, okay, like, I want to go back to reading about Evie. You know what I mean? Like, you know how I said I like the first guy in a love triangle? I tend to like the first narrator in a book better. So, like, when it's multiple perspectives, and I'm like, for example, Passenger, it's written from two perspectives. We start with, well, actually, no, we don't start with, there's a prologue from Nicholas's perspective, and then the first chapter is from Edda's perspective. And, like, because, like, the first chapter was Edda, that's why I liked it more.
Yeah, that happens
weird bookish habits.
It's the same with me with Throne of Glass. Like, the whole series, it took me probably took me a good two of the books to like really get used to the multiple perspectives in that series. But now I love them, so it just takes me some time to get used to.
I think the end of the book made all of the perspectives just come together, and that's what made me like them.
I agree.
Yeah.
We have a question from Fandom and Books. Are you going to read another book by Libba Bray?
Yes.
Definitely.
Definitely.
I was thinking about my unhauls. And I think I actually might unhaul the rest of her series I read with Great and Terrible Beauty.
Oh.
I don't know, I didn't connect with it. It was confusing. And then I always hear like really like mixed reviews about Beauty Queens.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, that one, I don't know. I don't like the cover of it, and I'm judging it.
That is exactly
but
my
I
problem.
don't really like it.
So I don't know. I
I'm
think
confused.
for right now, I'm gonna say no, and I'm probably gonna unhaul the other ones. It's good. Like I don't know. It just didn't. This book I loved. So if she comes out with anything new, I think I would read it, but not.
And you'll read Layer of Dreams, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I would definitely read Libba Bray. I actually own A Great and Terrible Beauty, and Kelsey, which is my friend in real life, she's obsessed with A Great and Terrible Beauty, the whole series. So
Does she have the series?
Yeah.
I can send you mine. I was gonna unhaul it.
Oh, well, I have the first book, but that's it. So I
have
am a fan of
last
this idea.
I have the last two.
It's a trilogy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah, I'm down.
yeah,
We can talk
the
about
last
that
one's
later, though.
All right. Very good.
But yeah, so I would definitely read more of hers. I'm not sure about Beauty Queens, but that's because of the cover. Like, I've heard the plot, and I'm like, oh, that sounds interesting, and then I look at the cover, and I'm like, I'm not buying that.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that.
I'll just stick with watching The 100 to get that kind of feel.
Yes.
Best show of all time.
Yes. Yeah. What else do we want to talk about?
I'm trying to
can we talk about Blind Bill?
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Scene?
Oh my god.
Because, okay, we're talking
like
about surprises. I did not expect that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
What? I was so upset reading it, listening to it. I was just like, wait, are you fucking kidding me right now? Is this really happening? This
I was
can't be
so
real.
confused at first. I kind of suspected that he had a power, when we went to his perspective the first time, and I feel like he's gonna be more of an antagonist in the next book.
I think
Because
Yes, definitely.
because when you read from his perspective, he gives off an evil vibe. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
He seems super creepy and stuff, and he was talking about revenge a lot. Or am I just imagining this?
No,
No.
I think they're gonna go into more of what the revenge is for. Did they talk about that? Because I don't think so.
no.
Well, and
he
at one point
mentions
he
it.
says something like they just don't realize who the real monsters are, and I was like, oh, something's up with him.
Yeah, there's definitely a big backstory behind him.
So question, because just heads up, I read this beginning of October. So you guys are saying, Cassie, you just said, oh my god, I can't believe I honestly am blanking on.
Oh, so the first scene we get with Blind Bill is are you here? Okay, you froze for a minute.
Oh, sorry, I'm here.
You're okay though. Blind Bill, the first scene we get from him, he's just chilling, and he's kind of seems like the nice community homeless guy or community blind guy. He seemed really just nice and the guy that you talk to every day on your way to wherever you're going. And then at the end, he corners Isaiah to try to kill him.
Oh right, I remember.
And then he doesn't succeed because what happened? I don't remember. Someone
came,
sees them.
And then doesn't Isaiah go back home and Blindville sees him again?
He goes back multiple times
to his room, and I'm like,
yeah, he's at the house 3 different occasions after that. He goes with Isaiah to the house when Isaiah's still recovering, and he's there, and Sister Octavia is saying oh, I'm so glad you were there, and blah blah blah. And then the second time, he's checking in on him to see if he remembers anything, and he doesn't. Yeah. And maybe it's just the 2 times, actually. It might not be 3, because those are the 2 I remember. But I'm so confused.
I had a bad feeling from him the second I read about him.
I didn't.
I did.
I didn't at all.
As soon as we got to his perspective, I was like, oh no, this isn't happening. I thought he was going to be a really irrelevant character.
Oh, I knew he was bad. I know that, I don't remember what he did, but the minute I thought that he was Naughty John, right when I first started reading. Like, I was like, he is bad, like, the minute I read him.
See, when I first read from his perspective, I'm like, oh my god, like, what if he's the one that's, like, doing all of the murders and stuff? But at first, like, I had no idea. And, like, it bothers me, like, so much because now, like, we know this and, like, no one else in the story does. Like, it gets to me.
I hate when stuff like that happens in books. Stresses me out so bad.
I'm, like, yelling. I'm like, don't let him in the house!
Yeah, that was so cool. But on the track of Blind Bill, I don't know if y'all thought about this, but I had been thinking about this through the story, and I'm just interested to see if this happens, but he's blind but has a power. And there's a few different points where they mention that Evie is starting to not see as well, and she doesn't want to have to wear glasses. And I'm starting to wonder if maybe the diviners, if they use their power too much, they start going blind.
That's really interesting.
I didn't pick up on that. Because at one
I
point
forgot that she was having
my power one last time, and then I could never see again.
Yeah,
and
that's a good theory.
I totally forgot that happened to Evie.
Yeah. I did too. That's
really,
that's
really interesting concept. Because Evie does use it a lot, like at the Hotsy Totsy. She starts using it, and then in the beginning, when she's with her friends, like the reason she goes to New York is because she did it a lot.
And she keeps getting headaches and stuff, and talking about how she can't see well.
Wow, I totally forgot about that.
But then we have to think about.
You're so smart.
What's his name? Sam.
Will.
He uses his all the time, and they don't really talk about him going blind. So I wonder if it's something to do with being able to see futures or prophecies or something like that.
Maybe.
And then Memphis lost his power too.
Yeah.
So, I'm interested to see where all these faults are.
Right. On this reminded me of the question of do you think it's interesting, or I don't know how to word the question. Basically, I was trying to figure out if it's just a coincidence that sucks that just so happens that all of these people happen to have powers and they're all really close vicinity to each other, or are there so many diviners in the world that it's normal that there's this many diviners that happen to be near each other?
That's a good point.
Are they all somehow, because not all of them started out in New York, right? So are they all, was it because of Naughty John or because of Project Buffalo or whatever, that they're all slowly converging into New York for something? They're all being pulled into the location? Which one is it? I don't know.
I feel like it's the being pulled one.
I like that idea too.
I feel like
I just am curious.
It's the aspect of fate that's in so many books that I think that's what it is.
Probably. Yeah. I think I could see that.
But that's a really interesting thing to be is it just a coincidence?
Books first to understand what's happening.
What'd you say?
So there's so many things that need to happen in the next few books for me to be okay, I was right about this.
I know, and Vanessa said again that, oh no, never mind, that was in reference to Jericho's. I thought she was talking about Blind Bill. It was she said something about Jericho's backstory, but I thought it was about Blind Bill's, and I was are they going into no one's backstory in Lair of Dreams? They have to go into someone's, but that's really interesting. So maybe it is a fate-based thing that's going to happen, because I feel it was mostly Evie that had to do with Naughty John. You know what I mean? I feel the rest of the diviners didn't have as big as a role in it, and then I feel maybe in the second book or the next books, it's going to be they all have to come together because of it, rather than
do we mostly follow Evie's perspective in Lair of Dreams, or does it switch to another main character base?
I hope so. I hope we follow
Evie. I don't want it to change.
I know. I like Evie, but I also hope that we get more from Theta. I want.
Yes.
Theta.
I loved I feel it was one big chapter on Theta's life. I loved that chapter.
Where she talks about her husband.
Yes, and I loved it because this is the most random thing in the entire world, but they addressed backdoor abortions, and no, I've never read a book that talked about abortion, period, and I just thought it was so cool.
So good.
That they brought in that issue of it, because I love that they're talking about drinking and drugs and normal teenage stuff that actually happens, because half the stuff that happens in YA never happens to teenagers. And while I don't think that abortions are common, I think like this is the stuff I learned about in like 8th grade health class. So like
And they for sure were common in the 1920s.
Yes.
That was
100%. So I thought it was so cool that she incorporated such like an unconventional topic in it.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell she did her research on the time period.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, I just hope it's not a coincidence. Like I hope
that would
that
be
she
annoying.
delves into it. That the fact that like we have freaking 7, 8 diviners all within like a small vicinity and all interacting with each other, even though they
And
don't
that's
know they're all
just that we
diviners.
know of right now. In Lair of Dreams, I bet
Exactly.
more characters will come into play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Vanessa just said that. She said Lair of Dreams follows everyone, and we also get a new character.
Ooh.
Ooh. I wonder if it'll be a new love
I'm
interest.
gonna have to read Lair of Dreams this month now. I'm gonna have to
Cassie's
get
like
the audiobook.
hoping it's a new love interest so she doesn't have to
I
pick
don't
one
like
of ours.
either of them.
We do when it's Throne of Glass.
That's, yeah. Like, it worked so well in that series, so I'm just hoping.
It works well, yeah.
I was just thinking, I can't remember.
Anything
we want to start wrapping up. It's been an hour.
Yeah, I gotta head out.
Wrapping
Yeah.
up.
Let's do some, I don't know, a wrap up however you want, I guess.
I'm trying to think.
What do you
Can we do a wrap?
A wrap of the wrap.
We need Red.
Red would be going off already about it.
Yeah, so I guess we already announced Passengers, super exciting. Pirates, yes please. And Time Travel, yep.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I've already read it. It's so good.
I'm so excited for that.
I think it's interesting because we both picked 2 historical fiction novels and like we didn't even mean to.
But they're totally different. Like time travel and paranormal.
Fiction.
Yeah, that's true.
Definitely.
I think that's a really important aspect of it. But don't forget to send us suggestions on Twitter or on Goodreads or on YouTube, anywhere. We just want to know what you guys want to read. We're trying to pick it closer to like newer releases, so if you guys know anything that's coming out in like April and May,
Yeah.
I feel like we're more
or anything that you haven't really heard people talk about also, too.
Yeah,
Like
and
a
also,
random book.
Yeah, and not like Throne of Glass 5 or something like that, because we need like the first book in the series, right? Did we decide on that, right?
I think we're trying to stay as close as we can to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I loved this book so much. I can't wait to read Layer of Dreams.
Yeah.
I love it. Let me know when your audiobook works, because I want the audiobook.
I'm going to try to use Scribed. I'm going to see if I can get it on Scribed.
Y'all definitely need
nothing else is working.
I need to get that. I just wanted to say I really find it interesting that most of our live shows we've all kind of rated our books very similar. Like there hasn't been like a 5 and a 1 star for our live show, so it's really interesting to like kind of connect on that level. I'm waiting to see for the one where we have that.
Yeah. I've been hearing some mixed reviews on Passenger, so I'm really interested to see if any of you guys are on like the opposite end, because I've heard some really nasty reviews about Passenger.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of booktubers have given it 1 star.
Wow.
Yeah.
God.
But I loved it, and I think you guys will love it, and I'm hoping you'll love it.
I'm sure I'll love it.
I'm really excited to see what Sierra thinks of it, because it's so unbelievably different from The Darkest Minds. So
Yeah.
Just curious to see like how her favorite author doing something new is for her.
Yeah, that's true. All right, well, anything else, ladies?
I'm good. I had a great discussion.
Yeah, this was great.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
Comment down below if you have any other questions for us. And thanks for tuning in.
All right, we'll see you on this channel again for future Buy New Bibliothon announcements, and then the Passenger Live show.
Yeah.
All right, bye.
All right. Bye.